Now, I know this week started off a little bit dull because of this twist, but thankfully, y'all, things are finally starting to pick up. There has been a lot of drama surrounding the veto this week, and it looks like we may just see some good gameplay being used this week after all. There's going to be a lot to talk about today, including the constantly shifting target, but first, before we get started, please make sure you hit that subscribe button below if you have not already. Live feeds are super important towards the end game because as these players get closer to the money, sometimes their allegiances can switch up just like that. And recaps like these really are the best way to know what's going on in the house day to day. So if you would like a little bit more of a deeper dive into what's going on in the show, especially as we head towards the end, this is the channel for you. Now, let's get started. So when we had last left off, Angela and Leah had both won the veto, but they hadn't decided what they were going to do with it. Angela had the original veto that we all know and love, and Leah had won the janky veto, which at the time was still a mystery to us. So with Angela and Leah holding all the power, there was plenty of room for things to change with these nominations. Now earlier in the morning, T-Kor goes to talk to Kimo to try to gas him up and coach him on what to say to Leah. She's wanted him to be a little bit more active in the game for a while now because in the previous times where he's been put up on the block, he didn't really put up too much of a fight. She tells him that he should throw anybody under the bus that he needs to throw, including herself, which I get wanting to protect your friend and all that stuff, but T-Kor may want to be careful with that one. Later on, when Kimo and Leah go to chat, Kimo is giving Leah all the standard reassurances, swearing that he'll never put her up on the block and all that good stuff. And I want to give Kimo his 10s here because normally he is a more passive player, but this time he's starting to play a little bit harder. He's promising that him and his entire trio will work to protect Leah in the future, which I don't really think is entirely true. And he's actually throwing the other trio, you know, Chelsie and them's group, he's throwing them under the bus this time too.
Okay, obviously me, T-Kor, and Rubina are like the obvious, like a trio, because we're really good friends, right? Yeah. But do you notice another group from another group from? Do you know?
Of course. Yeah, I'm not a dumb.
Which is, that's, I keep trying to think, because I know that people like me, Rubina, and T-Kor are like, that's what I think is like an obvious trio. But at the same time, if you look at our stats, we don't really win.
Exactly.
And Leah is actually pretty receptive to this conversation, and she's also going to let Kimo know that she might have a bigger target in mind too.
I felt comfortable knowing that like I could mend relationships with you guys, and then there's other people who I know like would be like if they were on and came off, it would be like World War III.
Now, since Leah is talking to Kimo here, at this point I'm assuming that she's talking about MJ or Chelsie, right? You know, the two people that Kimo aren't super close to. And so it sounds like Kimo and Leah are totally on the same page at first, right? That is until she starts throwing T-Kor's name in the mix. Leah brings up the point that both Chelsie and T-Kor both considered putting Leah on the block when they were HOH, so it's only fair that she gives them that same consideration. Yikes, that is definitely not good news to Kimo, but ultimately he doesn't even end up pushing back super hard here. The next person Leah is going to meet with is Cam. And Cam brings an entirely different type of energy to this conversation. Leah keeps on pushing Chelsea's name to Cam here, but Cam just keeps on swatting away every single excuse that Leah is bringing up. Leah is saying that she's worried that Chelsie is so close to him and MJ, which is totally true. I mean, Chelsie has them on lock. But Cam just flips that entire conversation over and says that from his perspective, Leah seems to be the one that's super close with Cam and MJ, and that Cam just feels like a fourth wheel to the girls.
Those are two people that I do trust, but also y'all have a much closer relationship other than probably Chelsie than I've been able to have until as of recent, you know, because y'all have been, you know, rocking with each other since the first week.
He's subtly insinuating here that he sees those girls as super close trying to make Leah seem more comfortable with his allies. I just want to give Cam his props here because he was really good in this conversation. Don't get me wrong, Leah should definitely be looking to target Chelsie this week, but Cam's arguments are really, really effective. It's to the point where later on, when Leah goes to meet with Chelsie, now she's wanting to actually form a bond and re-solidify an alliance with her and MJ. Now, this alliance trust cluster thing that Leah's trying to form is totally fake from Chelsie's perspective. It's just that Leah doesn't know that. And just like that, it's looking like if Leah does have to choose a replacement nominee, it is not going to be Chelsie. And that just leaves one other person in danger. Next up, Leah goes to meet with Angela. And this is the conversation that we've really been waiting for because so far it hasn't even been confirmed that a veto will be used. But in this conversation, Angela immediately reveals that she does indeed want to use her veto to save Kimo.
And I think my heart is telling me to go ahead and use it on Kimo. Mm-hmm. It's the right thing for me to do, Leah. Mm-hmm. Because both times I've been on the wrong side of the votes.
And I've been there with you.
And it's been terrible. You know, but I think this will give us, because he said he would not put us up if he wins. And I believe him. I do too.
I think she just feels bad for voting him out twice and is trying to salvage that relationship in any way she can. Which, I mean, is probably too late at this point, but also I don't think it's going to hurt her game really any either. Now that a veto will officially be used, this is where Leah is going to reveal to Angela that her plan this week is to put T-Kor on the block as a replacement.
If I want to break up that kind of like trio situation, I would want to put
You have to. I mean, you don't have to, but I think it would be wise because then you immediately take it away.
And of course, Angela is elated and in full support of the decision because she's low-key been wanting T-Kor to hit that block for weeks now. I really just think it might be a little bit of jealousy because T-Kor has been safe and protected throughout the entire game and she hasn't hit the block yet, and Angela has been in danger most weeks. But really, Angela and T-Kor are just polar opposite people and they have been playing polar opposite games all season. Later in the night, Leah goes to meet with T-Kor, where she starts to hint to T-Kor that she could be the replacement nominee, and this conversation is just awkward.
I don't want you or whoever I can to like put in that position if I needed to put you in a position. Like, it just would kill me because it's just not how I wanted to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, and to like for the three options that I could have, it's like are three people that I care about deeply, and I understand this game a lot. It's just like it just doesn't sit right with me.
T-Kor is just sitting there stunned in silence for a really, really long, awkward amount of time, just staring at Leah in disbelief. She kind of sort of tries to fight it and push for somebody else to go up, but it is just too late. Now, at first, Leah is saying that T-Kor is just going to be a pawn because she's just assuming that she's going to have the numbers to be able to stay this week, but I just don't know if that's the case. T-Kor is one of the biggest threats to win the overall game, and everybody can see that she's the glue holding that side of the house together. If she hits that block next to Rubina, her safety is definitely not guaranteed. The next day, the feeds go off for the veto ceremony, and when they return, we see that Kimo has indeed been removed from the block, and T-Kor is sitting up there in his place. With T-Kor and Rubina officially on the block together, it's looking like this trio's time is officially coming to an end. Like I said before, I think that T-Kor is definitely a bigger in-game threat than Rubina. She has been one of the most beloved people in the house, which is probably why some people are thinking that she might need to go now.
The more I feel like she does something, I just need the vote.
We're down for that. Like, I'm 99.9% positive.
Right now, there is some momentum to get T-Kor evicted this week. I know MJ and Angela are really down to do it, and Cam might just flip as well. But nothing is set in stone yet. People are still talking, and they may be back and forth on this up until the eviction. So that's all I have for today. Of course, I want to know, who would you rather see leave this week? Do you want to see T-Kor get evicted, or would you rather it be Rubina instead? Let me know in the comments below. T-Kor has been one of my favorite players this season. Just personality-wise, I could see her and I hanging out in the real world. So if she does leave this week, it's really gonna hurt personally. But also, like I said, she is a huge in-game threat. So from a strategic perspective, I totally understand it if the house guests feel like it's her time to go. Of course, I'll be back here to update you all if there are any other big changes in the game. But until next time, bye.